Yeah, I have to say, I legit. That's a movie worth crying to.
Definitely worth crying to.
Yeah, sorry, folks. Hey, this is Retro Reload. I'm your host, Dash V.
And I'm Lizzie Hedgehog.
And I'm Jeremy. And if I die this week in the desert, I leave Dash V Ace Combat 4 to play.
Alrighty then. Alrighty, you have to leave all your Sonic games to Lizzie though.
Yep.
That's fine. I got 3 of them.
It's really here's the secret to not dying in the desert. Drink water. So and wear sunscreen.
And don't get bit by a rattler.
Yeah. Don't get bit by a rattlesnake. So, folks, a lot of you guys, I'm kind of surprised. The chat is a bit empty today, so I'm wondering where the folks are, but hopefully they will arrive shortly, especially when they see that the topic, right, this is a topic that you folks have been kind of begging us for. There's 2 topics that you've been begging us for. One of them I still can't afford. The other one I technically can't afford either, but these things do happen. So we're going to be showing some pickups today. And before we get to the one that everybody's been asking for, I'm gonna go ahead and Lizzie, you've got some pickups yourself, from what I understand.
Yes, I do. Recently, let's see what's this called. Gamer Blog has sent me their May box, which took a while, which kind of frustrated me because the UPS truck passed by my house twice and he couldn't find my address and it said it was delivered and that creeped me out. Finally got it, so yay, I got 2 boxes of it. So I'm gonna show you one. Well, that was May, but this was what month May came, and the main reason why I got May was specifically for this guy. This guy was in May.
Ooh.
So yay! That made me happy. And if you look inside, this is everything you should get inside the box. And to make this little thing more interesting, I saw in the back, it actually lists something. Come on, let's do this real quick. Y'all can agree or disagree, but this is the list of the best and worst Sonic games.
Oh, that looks controversial to me.
Yeah. Well, sort of, I guess. I mean.
So it said Sonic 2 was the best.
I can't read it. Can you read them off?
Let's see. Best is Sonic 2, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic Adventure 3. They made the best list.
All right. What made the worst list?
Sonic the Hedgehog 06, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Sonic Boom Rise of the Lyric made the worst list.
Do you agree with their worst list?
Me?
Yeah. Personally.
I have never played Shadow the Hedgehog because he creeped me out when I was younger, so I have no comment. I mean, Rise of the Lyric, I liked it, even though people don't like it. I liked it. And Sonic 06, I completely avoided because people told me Sonic somehow dies, so I'm avoiding that game. I don't want to see that scene. It's gonna piss me off.
What about their best? Do you agree with their best, or do you think that there's a best that should have topped Sonic 2?
Well, I mean, I love Sonic 2. I mean, seriously, I do love Sonic 2. But, I mean, to be honest, I grew up on Sonic 1 first. That's the first game I played. Sonic and Knuckles, I definitely agree if they had done Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Because that was Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles together. That was about 3-4 hour gameplay, depending how good you are and depending what you're going for. That's the one that should have made the list. I have never played Sonic Adventure 2, so no comment, but I believe Sonic Mania would be on the list eventually.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. And on to what they gave me. The first thing they gave me were these. They gave me. I have 2 boxes, so I have one of each. One of these Sonic blind boxes, so it could be something in here. It could be something in here. When I opened it, I was very happy with what came in the box.
It was Sonic.
It was this Sonic cutie. Yay!
What were your chances of getting a Sonic? Well, how many of the other characters are there that are non-Sonic?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10. There's about 12 because you can get Tails and Tails twice. You can get Dr. Robotnik. This is a mystery item.
Yeah.
You could have gotten those bad guys, or you could have gotten one of those guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one's more rare, the pixelated Sonic, and I've seen it on eBay, and people will sell that stuff for like $20.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, well, forget all y'all. I'm just going to spend $120 and just buy the whole box set and stick it over there.
There you go. I just beat it right to it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, blind boxes are nice if it's given to you like this, but I would rather spend the money actually buy the whole set. That way, I'm guaranteed I have it all. You're not worried about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And what else came in the box is a Kirby plushie. I have 2 of these, so if somebody wants one, let me know, because I don't really want them. I also got a Mario Kart t-shirt. I don't know anyone who could wear this except me. So if you're a girl and you can wear medium, then you can have the other one.
I can totally fit that.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Show off my abs.
Robert Walker says, "Hey there." He says, "Cool Kirby plush."
Thank you. I also got I got 2 of these cute little pins of Pac-Man, the ghost. It's kind of cool because it kind of glows like white, blue, right, blue, right,
That's
blue.
cool.
That. And I'm not going to take it out of the package, but I've got 2 Splatoon posters that they gave me. So I've got 2 of these. Yeah, and I also got these, 2 of these. So folks, if you want it, let me know. It's a little download code for a indie game.
Tokitori.
Yeah, Tokitori 2. I have 2 of these. So if you want it and you have Steam, let me know and you can have it.
Very interesting.
Yes, and that's what came in my boxes. I also had some other pickups. My mom has been going to Goodwill lately because she's really into knitting, and she likes to look for stuff that is done by hand. She likes to find like purses and things like that. And while she's over there, I'm going to the video game section and looking to see if they have some stuff. And apparently, recently, they had a bunch of Sonic 2 stuff. But it kind of aggravated me because there were so many dang kids in there that made me kind of wonder if someone donated their PlayStation 2 and some stupid kid goes, "Oh, Mommy, I want that." I go, "You son of a..." I hate kids because kids don't even know what it is. They're just like, "Oh, it's a video game system. I want it." Shut the fuck up, bitch. It's not your game.
Wow.
I don't know. It's honestly, I can't stand them because I went to a Goodwill and I was looking at some gaming stuff, and some little kid goes, "Eh," and his fat mama got right in front of me and pushed me out of the way for her kid. I go, "Lady, you're lucky I'm a Christian, and you're lucky that I have respect, or I would have smacked you. If you were my age, I would have smacked you. But because you're an older lady, I'm gonna leave you alone." But no, I do not like kids at Goodwill who run to the video game section and go, "I want that." You don't even know what it is. You are not old enough for PlayStation 2. You're not old enough for the first Xbox. You're just some dumb little bratty kid who just sees a video game and goes, "Oh, I want that."
Although,
And
you know, it is kind of I think we've all been guilty of that at some point, though, right? I mean,
yeah, you want to punch the person?
No. The other way. The other way. Being the kid that sees, like, I know that for just about every, and Jeremy and I have talked about this before, for just about every Atari 2600 game, the labels and the box art on those games looked frigging, like, mind-blowing. Now, at the end of the day, like, the actual game was, like, usually, like, a block moving a block toward another block. Like, that describes basically every Atari 2600 game ever made. But damn if the frickin' box art and the label didn't look friggin' amazing.
No, these are little kids who just walk around and they're little brats who just point to everything and want it, and they don't even know what it is.
I pointed to everything. I remember being in I think it was called, there's Kmart, which doesn't exist anymore, I think, and then there's another one, like, called KBC, which also didn't exist. And we used to, No, KBC. It was actually called that was the name of it. It was kind of like a Walmart. Yeah, it might have only been an East Coast thing, but like I remember walking around KBC and walking into like, you know, the Atari section there where they had all the stuff and just going like, I want Asteroids and I want Defender and I want Pitfall and I want and I mean, now granted those were good games,
Yeah.
but I also wanted some of the other games that you know, there's like 3 or 4 different games that were basically just like Defender or just like, you know, just like Breakout, for example. And it's like, oh, I want Breakout and Super Breakout and
Oh, yeah,
you know,
but that's different. But I'm talking about stupid little kids who don't have the manners that you're standing right there in front of it about to grab it, and their mom pushes you out of the way to take it, or they look in your cart. Because my mom always said this:
oh yeah,
put
yeah.
your hand on your cart and keep it with you, and keep an eye on it, because people will just go through like, you have something I want. I don't care if it's in your cart. I'm gonna take it.
Well, and I think too, it's part of the because I'll notice when I get to like when I go to Goodwill or when I go to Savers or whatever, like those of us that have been there a couple of times, I don't usually deal with this with kids, but I could definitely tell people who are going there specifically to find a deal, right, on something. They're deliberately going there to find, you know, a Game Boy that's been mismarked for $10 or $5 or something, right? Like, and so sometimes you're right. It definitely can be like a mad world, like Dash to the. It starts out all casual, and then all of a sudden you see somebody walking toward the, you know, toward the merchandise aisle, like where the glass case is that's all locked up, and you go like, oh damn, I know what they're going for, right? And then you kind of pick up the pace a bit, and then you both get there at like roughly the same time, and then there's like this whole etiquette of like, you know, who got there first, right? Like if they're looking at stuff over on this side of the case, right? Like, is it a breach in etiquette to say, oh, while he's looking at the Ginsu knives over there because he hasn't seen the Game Boy, can I take a look at the Game Boy? Right, and then you get it, and then you could see the person there just kind of like, you know, just standing, trying to pretend like he's not interested in the Game Boy that you're looking at, and then when I see, I go, oh, you know, it's priced too high, and I put it back, and then they'll go over and be like, oh, can I take a look at it? But it is definitely weird and awkward, and I think part of it maybe stems from the same thing that drives people to go to the thrift store, right? Like, you don't want to miss out on a deal. And so I think, you know, with the kids, obviously, it's not that. I think it's more of the labels look exciting, the characters look fun, the game looks like probably way more epic than it actually is. But you know, with the adults, I get more annoyed with the adults because it's kind of like I don't so badly want to get a deal at the thrift store that I'll like, you know, elbow somebody in the throat or cut in front of them to get it, right? But there are definitely some people that be like, I was standing here first. When she comes by, I'm taking a look at that first. Like, dude, all right, it's fine. I don't want to get shanked over like a copy of Super Mario Kart that has a torn label.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I've seen that, but I mean, it's kind of like more like you're like right there about to grab it, and then they act like a sore winner about it, and then their kids are like, yeah. You're 6 years old. You have no idea what a PlayStation 2 is, and good luck if it's actually working when you get home.
So I do want to acknowledge, Robert, I do see in the chat, my friend, I do see some of the other messages that you sent us earlier this week. I just want to remind you that we have the shows kind of pre-planned, and we have the guest roster kind of set up ahead of time. So we have an agenda that we intend to cover today, so we gotta cover that. But if you talk to us in the background, we can try to set you up for an upcoming show. So
cool.
I just want you to know I'm not ignoring you. We're not blowing you off. Super flattered that you want to hang with us. We just got to make sure that we're ready for that. So
well, anyhow, let me show those games. Okay, I got 3 PlayStation games because I mean it was full of PlayStation 2 games. Like this. I had to get, even though I don't have, I have a PS2, but it doesn't work. It's somewhere in a box under my bed. So I got this, and
well, that's why it doesn't work. You got to plug it in, Lizzie.
No, I tried it out. It's stuck on some loading screen, but whoever.
Oh, maybe the drive went bad.
Yeah, whoever had it, it had everything in it. So I can definitely give you points for that. I don't know who owned this, but you suck, because all it says is Sonic Riders. But I opened it to check it before I bought it, and luckily it's all in there.
Oh, okay. You know, you can probably get the case for it if you look on eBay.
Should get kneecapped.
Well, someone's name is on there. I don't know who G Sato is, but your name's on there.
G Sato is a threat to the knee.
I'm gonna go hunt down a G Sato. Excuse me.
Gisato's watching the show. He's our one Canadian viewer, and he's heartbroken right now. He's all like, "No."
He got it. I got this. And I saw. I go. Oh, I have to get it. I don't have
Yeah.
PS2, but I'm gonna get them because I have high hopes that if the Xbox can do that backwards compatibility, well, God help PlayStation. Maybe y'all can do it too.
Sure.
And
It's
it's
a
like,
good game too. If you never played Crazy Taxi, it's an incredibly good game.
Oh,
I've
really?
been wanting to play it. I've been wanting to play.
Robert
I
Walker
don't wanna-
says Crazy Taxi is awesome, but then he says that Sonic Unleashed story is not that good. So
Yeah.
you might have to attack him after the show, Lizzie.
Well, I want to play Crazy Taxi. Like,
He says the
on
gameplay is decent.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
come
I'm
to my
gonna play
house, my
well,
PS2 works. I'm
Taxi.
playing it right now.
I don't. Well, they have Crazy Taxi on the mobile, but like, I don't want to play dang no mobile. I want to play on the.
Lizzie, come on over. My PS2 works. I'm playing it right now on the TV.
All you gotta do, just do the short drive down the street from Texas to LA, and you're all set.
Oh, we got a hurricane that might be in the waters.
All the more reason, right? You should drive away from the hurricane.
California.
There ain't no hurricane in LA, I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, it's just hot.
Just rolling
You never
ground
know.
from everybody running their AC.
Okay, then we'll see.
You can even stick the back of my truck.
All right. Is that your pickups for this week?
Well, I have one more.
I see you
I
looking
don't know
around.
why I grabbed it, but I got a Guitar Hero. I don't know what this thing is, but
Is that a belt?
I guess it's a belt. It's a
Or
Guitar
a-
Hero.
Or a guitar strap.
Oh
Well, I
yeah,
didn't see
yeah.
it
Maybe
yet.
it's a guitar strap. Looks like it could be.
I
Is the-
didn't see it.
Is the towel new? The Sonic the Hedgehog towel? I don't think we've seen that before.
No, it's been there. It just hasn't been in the thing. It's from 1992.
Shit, I was like, there you go.
My goodness,
Never been used.
you haven't had it out and hanging up though before, have you?
Well, I have recently. I just don't think y'all noticed it. Well,
We might have been not in the frame,
yeah, but he's been up there.
so he needs a corn dog though, or a
Chili
chili
dog.
dog rather. He needs a chili dog.
I don't know, man. He's drinking that drink pretty. He's been drinking
So-
that drink since '92. So
So all I know is that there's a bunch of people, right, that are gonna be really bummed that they didn't catch the show live to get to talk about this, because y'all been breaking my balls for showing this and talking about this and all that other stuff. And now I finally got it, and y'all ain't here to watch it live. So you're gonna have to catch this in the post. But guess what? I did the math.
woo.
I did the math. So I managed to get me a complete in box Atari Jaguar.
Oh wow.
Now, yeah, so got a pretty decent. It definitely was not cheap, but I don't feel like I overpaid for it. The box is in really excellent shape.
I'll say that myself. It's like either it's a bad camera or it looks really good.
No, I mean, there's a crease there in the top, but everything else about this, I mean, really, it's in good shape. It's got a couple of dings, but nothing really. I mean, it's definitely display worthy. There is a price tag on the top right there next to the Cybermorph, dude. So I don't know if the guy I bought it off, if he was a gamer, well, is a gamer. So he games, he collects that kind of stuff, but he's pruning down the collection. I don't know if he was the original purchaser, but at one time this was $39.99 at KB
Oof.
Toys.
I assume
Dang,
you
man.
pay that much.
Oh man, $39.99 at KB Toys. You know what? The dozen of times that I saw these things trying to be liquidated at various different places, I should have snapped it up. Never did. It got to the part where like the pricing on Jaguar stuff kind of got ridiculous, and so for a while there, I literally just a couple people have heard me say a few times that when I was a kid, I didn't really have a lot. And, you know, my parents didn't have a lot. And we weren't necessarily poor, but we were definitely like at the lower end of middle class. And so, you know, we had everything that we needed and, you know, a few of the things that we wanted, but it was definitely like, you know, waiting for Christmas, constantly waiting for Christmas for something actually big. And, yeah, so we grew up on Atari and the original Nintendo, and then never went any farther than that within my childhood home because just couldn't afford to keep up with the technology stuff. So I made a list of all the games and all the systems and everything that I want to have, and I managed to get them all, except for this one for the longest time.
Cool.
So I finally got myself the system. Now I have to go through. I have a list of games. I had struck it off and said that doesn't count. It's gotten too pricey. A lot of folks, a lot of the reviewers have said that the games frankly aren't worth it. I don't know. I'm starting to have second thoughts. I'm starting to think that maybe, with all this, people being so, do Atari Jaguar on the show it. Maybe I misjudged. So I'm gonna open this up and see what's inside, because it claimed in the YouTube, or I'm sorry, in the eBay, it claimed that this was minty. So, but I've learned that there's a lot of different definitions of minty. Many of which don't. Minty
flavor.
Yeah, maybe it's a minty flavor, but it got run over by, by a car. And we'll also see if the definition of complete in box really just means console, game, and controller, or if we actually have, oh hey, look at that.
Yes.
The user manual for the Atari Jaguar. Okay, cool. So apparently complete in box means complete in box. Cybermorph, the instruction manual for that. It's the actual Atari Jaguar legit power supply. It's not a aftermarket.
Cool.
Helio.
In the comments real quick, Robert said, speak of hurricanes, did you hear about the DuckTales reboots? Also,
heck yeah.
I think that's me. We're now learning to fly. And Lister is here. How you doing, Lister?
Hey, Lister. So, no, that's okay. By the DuckTales reboot, are you talking about either Disney Afternoon that recently got released, or are you talking about the previously released DuckTales Remastered, or is this something new? If it's something new, Robert, let us know.
There's a new cartoon, dude.
Oh, the cartoon reboot. Yeah, I heard about that one. So the RF switch is actually the Jaguar RF switch.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, that's legit since it's in the package.
Lister is excited you got the Jaguar right now.
Danger, my friend. This bag is not a toy.
Yes, it is. I talk them all the time.
I'm having fun with it, but it's not a toy. All right.
That is so creepy. That's how
that did. I look like very bizarre. So I gotta say, controller actually looks in really good shape.
Nice.
Actually, I want to go around here somewhere.
That's still too many buttons, man.
It's 3 buttons. I mean, these, yeah, but not sure how I feel about the fact that the controller goes down.
Oh, can we see it again one more time? The controller.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
So that is the controller.
That would annoy me.
There is a Pro controller as well. They're hard to find and really expensive, but there's a Pro controller that moves 3 of the buttons up here, so it's more of a 6-button Street Fighter II configuration. Insult to injury, there is no Street Fighter II on the Jaguar. But that's kind of neat. The connector is like an old school, almost like a Genesis connector.
Yeah, let's say same. That's cool.
So let's see what else we got. Oh, look at that. So he's got the overlay for Cybermorph. So now this was the neat idea, and this is an idea that they carried over from the Atari 2600, because they had a gamepad that you could buy separately for the Atari 2600 to play games like Star Raiders and stuff. And so the idea was that you put the overlay on the controller over the buttons, and you could customize, instead of having to have, what's this button do? You can actually look like super weapon, forward view, cockpit view, music. Ergonomically, I don't like this, but the old man in me that can't remember how the hell to play a game with all these damn buttons on the new controllers really appreciates, built-in instructions. Nice. So here's Cybermorph. Now, I do agree with this. A tragic error in judgment was them making the tops in such a way that you could not, you can't see what the actual game is by looking at the top. Yeah. Now, like with N64, though, there's some folks on the eBays that have made, if you look for Jaguar labels, they have these little labels that you can stick to the top that are basically, they'll take a little bit, like they might take just the Cybermorph thing and make it a bit of a banner across the top so that you can actually see what the game is. But you have to buy them.
Etsy, who does that for N64. I want to buy some, actually.
Oh, nice. I don't know what this is. It's like a little piece of. It's like a little piece of foam.
Yeah, that might be it. Stick it in your mouth.
I am not sticking this into my mouth. I have no idea. Folks, you might have seen in a previous episode, I did put a Nintendo Switch game in my mouth. They taste awful. They're horrible.
I like the controller. It makes you feel better.
That does make you feel a lot better. That was so disgusting.
Tastes like cigarettes.
So, you see, here it is. Here's the Jaguar itself. And wow, I have to say, this looks really good. This is in excellent shape.
Robert requested you do it with the foam. Just saying.
Robert requests what?
You look at that piece of foam you just had in your hand?
No, not doing it. Not doing it. There's not enough money in the universe to make me do that. So that it looks clean. This is really awesome. I'm digging it. I don't know if the back is always opened. It looks like it maybe is. But and I don't know what L and H. I don't see why it would be. There's like an L and H switch on there. I have no idea what the L and H switch does.
Maybe it's for, is it two controllers? Like maybe you want to, is it a two controller system? Like
But the two controllers are up front, my friend.
Yeah, but I would think left and right. Maybe access control. I don't know.
So maybe L stands for left and H stands for hella right.
For some reason, hella right. Yeah. Oh. I think so. I can look it up real quick.
But yeah, definitely look it up if you got it. This is really neat. I'm really stoked. This is legit in minty condition. There's like literally there's not a scratch on this thing.
Well, you just took out the box, man.
Well, no, he had it before. This was his system. He gamed with it.
Well, then he took good care of it.
Yeah, he took incredibly good care of it. You could tell from the bags and stuff. But yeah, it's the original box, the original packaging within the box. So that's what you get. And now it's even better than that though. This is how cool this guy was. So I rarely do this, but like I said, this was not necessarily. It was a good deal, but it wasn't like cheap. Like I wouldn't call this a bargain. But for the condition, I saw other stuff listing and people bidding higher than what I paid for this. For consoles that were in way crappier condition. So I feel like I got a good deal. But I sent the guy a message on eBay saying, hey man, just getting into Jaguar, but I'm a collector like you, blah, blah, blah. Can you, I hear this system, the games are kind of dodgy. Can you recommend any good games? And he said, he recommended Doom. He recommended, what are the 3 games that he recommended? I'll have to pull it up, but one of them was Doom, one of them was Tempest 2000, and then there was one other game I don't quite remember what that other game was. Okay. But he goes, I tell you what. I'm not necessarily sending you the best games, but I'll throw in some extra games, because I know the cost of the system, it might be a while before you can get some games. So he threw in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
Ooh, cute.
No charge. So now this one's hit and miss. There's people that hate this game because they say it's pretty difficult. But generally people say the controls are pretty good and that the graphics and sound are decent enough. So I'm willing to give this a fair shake. Look out for a future playthrough of this. By playthrough, I mean we'll see how far I can get before I decide if I want to keep playing it anymore. And then the other game, and then we'll find out what Jeremy found out about what L and H mean. Is notorious for being the worst game on the system, but I appreciate it because I got it for free. Checkered Flag.
Oh my gosh!
So this came out around the same time as Stunt Race FX, and the same time as Virtual Racing on the Sega Genesis. So, but from what I've read in all the reviews, can't hold the candle to either of those because the graphics, I guess, are kind of not very impressive compared to Virtual Racing. And probably worse than that is that the controls on this are supposedly absolutely terrible. But again, I'll give it a shot. When I plug all this in, I'll do a playthrough of about 5-10 minutes of each one of these games and give you guys my first impressions ever of Atari Jaguar, a system I've been waiting to own and play since I've been a kid. Did it turn out that originally I dodged a bullet and then jumped back in front of it, or did I actually did I actually not know what I was missing? We'll find out, and you'll find out with me. So, and if I hate it, it's all your fault, our viewers, for telling me that I got to do an episode or two on Atari Jaguar. So, Jeremy, what'd you find out, my friend?
Yes, it says it's actually the channel switch, expert from the Jag manual. If channel 4 is your primary broadcasting channel in your area, set the channel switch to low and set your channel to channel 3 to play the game. If channel 3 is your primary broadcasting channel in your area, set the channel switch on the Jaguar 64-bit to high and set your channel to channel 4. So it's for TV.
What the hell sense does that make? Like on my Sega Genesis. Look, this is how you're supposed to do it, Atari, on the Sega Genesis. See, it clearly says channel 3, channel 4. I don't have to guess what the hell that means. Like L for 3, H for 4. I understand that 4 is higher than 3, so, but that's not how I think when I'm trying to hook shit into my TV, man. Like you really kind of, I don't know. You say do the math, and then you swapped out numbers for letters. That doesn't even make any sense.
Those were the days, man.
But no, so this was, I'm really excited actually. This was really good. I'm always nervous when I buy something that says that it is near mint or mint, because I'm always bracing for disappointment. So I've had stuff that was claimed to be mint that has been destroyed before, like literally like scratches on the game and cracks in the case, and like, well, mint for something that's 20 years old. Like, no, mint means mint, motherfucker.
Let's see. Robert wants to know, have we checked out his Dwayne and Brando Smash Duck Hunt remix? No, but send me the link and I'll check it right now, Robert.
I want to say that I did. I checked it out, I think, last week. So we can definitely. Unfortunately, the chat doesn't. The chat is kind of ghetto. The chat does not allow us to share links during the show.
Really, it doesn't?
No, it doesn't. I've tried before.
Tweet us, or send to our Facebook. And I'll check it out.
Yeah, well, definitely.
I used to play Doom a lot on 101, the French Jaguar. It's really cool if you have pre-programming.
Nice. One of the things you could do with the number buttons is make one of them a rapid fire button, like you could do with the old NES Advantage controller. Really?
Ooh.
That's pretty cool, listeners, mate. I didn't know that.
See, that's why we love our fans, because they give us new information we never knew.
You guys give me the hookup. So now when I play Cybermorph, right, I can make use of that trick there. So games that I'm looking forward to getting on the Jaguar. I'll let you know if if that looking forward to getting them was well founded or not after they arrive. But I'm looking forward to Bubsy. I'm looking forward to Rayman. Looking forward to Doom, Wolfenstein. I am looking forward to that Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, actually, because I heard some good things about that. Looking forward to Tempest 2000 a lot, and then Soldier of Fortune. A lot of people don't even realize Soldier of Fortune was actually in development, nearly finished, and then they didn't release it. So Songbird Productions actually bought the rights to it and made, well after the fact, actually has made complete in box, box manual cartridge versions of the game that play on a stock Jaguar. So, and Soldier of Fortune is supposedly an arcade perfect conversion. So it's kind of like a Smash TV on steroids. So I've played Soldier of Fortune on the Super NES. I own it. To be honest with you, I was really let down, really disappointed in the quality of the conversion. Level designs changed for really no obvious reason. Maybe this SNES just didn't have the graphical horsepower. But yeah, the Super Nintendo version, not very impressed. So I'm excited to see, because I love playing the original arcade game on MAME. So to have a console that can actually play an arcade perfect port sounds pretty good. Also, NBA Jam. A lot of people don't know this, but the definitive edition of NBA Jam, it's a toss-up between Sega Saturn and I think Sega Saturn. Yeah, it's a toss-up between Sega Saturn and Atari Jaguar. So I think Sega Saturn slightly edges out the Jaguar because it's got some better sounds. But Jaguar definitely holds its own. So anybody that says that there's not good games on the Jaguar, I think that you've overlooked it. There's definitely more good games on the Jaguar than there are on the CDI. So
wasn't there like a Tiny Toons game on there? I think there was, wasn't there?
I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that. Folks, help us out. Was there a Tiny Toons game made for the Atari Jaguar? So, oh yes, the third game that the eBayer recommended, which I'm also looking forward to, Alien vs. Predator.
Ooh.
So I firmly believe, and I believed this when I was a kid as well, had Alien vs. Predator been a pack-in title, had it actually released when the Jaguar released, which is the original plan, had it been a launch title, and had the Jaguar had a kit that came with Alien vs. Predator, I'm not going to say that they would have won the console war because it's not, no. But I do think Atari maybe would have done a bit better than how they did. So, because that definitely showed off the hardware a lot better than most any other game that came out for the system.
Mm-hmm.
So,
by the way, Robert, I just watched the video. It's actually pretty good, man. I liked it.
Yep. Robert Walker says no Tiny Toons Jaguar. So, folks, the video that Robert shared with us in the chat, we'll include a link to that in the Twitter after the show, so you guys can check that out. Or you can tweet it out now if you want to, Jeremy.
Yeah. Okay.
So any of you guys following us on Twitter, you could check out Robert's work. If you swap out letters for numbers, then that's algebra. Okay, listeners, I guess he's going with the whole, do the math. So I guess that's true.
Speak about algebra or something like that.
Robert says AVGN. Robert Walker says AVGN made the Jaguar combined with the CD adapter look like a toilet. Remember that? I do, and it does look like a toilet. Even before he did that, it's always looked like a toilet. But I guess, so one of the things that I want to do, and this is why against my better judgment, this is why, against everything that the internet is saying, this is why I got a Jaguar, because I've noticed that there are folks on Atari Age that really, really enjoy the Jaguar and its library. Even enough to the point to where a lot of the consoles don't really have an active homebrew community, but the Jaguar to this day still has an active homebrew community. You can get flashcards for it and all kinds of stuff. So, not for nothing, CDI does not have like a hugely active, homebrew community. 3DO, I mean, the original Berger Becky released the source code to Doom that she wrote for 3DO, and it's basically sat with no changes since she checked it in 2 years ago. So, 3DO definitely, if you put 3DO versus Jaguar, I'd say 3DO is definitely commercially a better success. In terms of amount of games for the system that were good, more games, but nobody's developing homebrew for it, right? So I look at that, these other consoles and the lack of homebrew, and I have to look at Jaguar and say there's got to be something there to make people love it so much and want to invest time in learning the hardware, learning the system, developing, in some cases building their own tools just to be able to develop for the thing. So maybe I should form my own opinion, and this is what I encourage you guys to do too. If you're seeing a lot of stuff out there, either whether it's AVGN or whatever, Rolf has even said himself, his first goal was to try to entertain, right? Some of those reviews, there's a bit of seriousness in there, but then there's a whole lot of him just trying to entertain. So feel free to make your own opinion and take your own chances on some of this stuff, because you might be super surprised. So I'm loving the hell out of the Atari Lynx. I've got 4 or 5 games for it so far, and they've all been amazing. But Atari Lynx, I mean, I can count on one hand the number of people I've had a discussion with that have said, "Oh, I had an Atari Lynx." 0.
I remember that. You know what's so sad for me is that I knew all that stuff was out there. I mean, because I used to get the gaming magazines, and I used to take them to school with me, and I would read them during lunch period or homeroom. And I remember reading all that stuff and seeing that stuff and just completely blowing it off because of Sonic. And it's kind of like, dang it, man! I gave all my love and attention to Sonic the Hedgehog, and
Yeah.
I'm not realizing. Holy crap! I missed a lot of stuff. I mean, Crash Bandicoot I knew about, but I just blew him off because he just scared the hell out of me.
Oh,
But-
same thing. I just was like, oh, Crash Bandicoot, Sonic knockoff, and I just wrote it off.
Yeah,
Right?
and the same,
But
same
people
thing with
love him.
Bubsy. Same Bubsy
Yeah.
because he was like he had this look on his eye like, are you on drugs? Because
Yeah.
you scare me.
A lot of
But-
people don't know this either, but Rayman at one point was in the running to be Atari's mascot for the Jaguar.
Mhm.
When they didn't make the sales, right, that they were hoping for and all that kind of stuff, and then the Jaguar ultimately flopped, Rayman found his way to other consoles. So you can play better versions of the Rayman game that came out on Jaguar on other systems. But still, I don't know. For me, there's just something about, like, I want to play the first Rayman that hit the market. I want to play that and experience that, even if it isn't maybe the definitive experience. I just want to see what Atari, right, inspired Ubisoft to do, and just give some appreciation to it. A lot of work went into that console for it to be panned as like one of the worst consoles of all time, and it's not clear to me that it's deserving of that title. So
Yeah, well, I know with Crash Bandicoot comes out June 30th, and I finally pre-ordered it. But I learned this. I went to GameStop this past weekend, and Kroger's was right next door. So I told my mom, I'm gonna go into GameStop. He goes, okay. I go in there, and I don't know what it is with GameStop, but you guys have some jerky employees. I mean, you see a girl go in there, and you're like, oh, welcome to GameStop. Can I help you?
It makes you
I
feel
do
the
have
very
to
same
say-
treatment.
yeah. I do have to say, I think it largely depends on it not only depends on, I'm not going to say it depends on the GameStop. It depends on the employee working that particular shift at GameStop. So
Yes.
because I've gone to GameStop, there's literally within a 20-mile radius of my house, there's like 10 GameStops. So not kidding. So there's 3 that I go to semi-regularly. By semi-regularly, I mean like maybe at least, once every 3 months I've gone to these. There's one in the mall, there's one on my way to work, and then there's one where's the other one? There's one kind of around the bend, but if I stop off to get a bite to eat, it's like right in that plaza there. So now each one of these I've gone to and had people there that were amazing. They gave me free posters, they gave me, empty boxes. They let me, when I go to buy a game, they've let me be picky and say, I don't really like the case that this game comes with. Can I have this case, which isn't all banged up, and just swap the inserts? And then, in some cases where they had like multiple copies of the game, it's like, well, can I mix and match? Because this one had a good manual, this one has a good disc, but this one has the best case. No, I'm serious, right? Because I want to display
I know
it.
you're serious, but as someone who's worked retail, I'm like, oh hell no.
No, and most of the time, I gotta give it to them. Most of the time, these people are like, dude, knock yourself out. Like, I'll ask stuff, they're like, oh, you want to get that game? I'll come up with the empty case. They'll be like, you want to get that game? I go, it depends. Can I see the condition of the disc? And they're like, sure, no problem. And then there'll be other times, like this weekend, or last week rather, when I was picking up the Jaguar, right? There's a GameStop right there that usually is super cool. Like, the guys there are super lax. They give me tons of stuff, like that Last of Us box and those Tomb Raider boxes came from this GameStop, right? And these guys watched the show, some of them at least. And so, like, I go to the same GameStop. I got the Atari Jaguar in the box. It just arrived from FedEx, right? And I come over, and there's 2 people there that I hadn't seen before. And I was asking them, hey, has this box, have you moved this inventory yet? Because I'm signed up to get one of those boxes or whatever, right? And the guy's just like, no, man, no. And I'm like, you want to see something cool? That I bet you don't, have for sale here? And the guy's like, sure. And I should have known as soon as he said sure, and the way that he said sure, he really didn't give a shit. But I'm excited anyway, right? So still, I opened the box and I showed, and he's like, oh, an Atari console, huh? Cool. Like, and I was just like, all right, I'll see you later. And I just like left. But they weren't rude to me, but it was just clear, like, I think for some people, it's really just a job. And for other people, I think, it's I think other people can make it more sometimes. You know, when you're working in retail, I think, you know, you have to be, if you're going to be successful in retail, I think what you need to remember is that your attitude and the way that you communicate with the customer does sell product.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I mean, if you have somebody come in and you kind of treat them like they're your best friend ever, right? Like, it's not a guarantee they're going to buy something, but I'm definitely not going to buy something off somebody that's a total dick to me.
Who the fuck? If you're a nice person, they buy shit off you.
So, yeah. So, but I could definitely say it's totally, you know, that particular GameStop, that guy that I got that one time, just, I think he was just, you know, not really into it. Or maybe he is into it and he was just having a bad day, didn't really care, couldn't wait for the day to be over. I don't know what happened before I got to the store. But I think it totally depends on the people. I'm not going to say GameStop in general is to blame for it.
On the manager. If the manager's giving shit, the employees will give a shit.
You know, that could be. That could be. So
I was at retail for years. That's my experience.
I do firmly believe, I think you're right. It depends on the example that's getting set for them. So I guess in that way, maybe you could say it's kind of GameStop's fault. Like, maybe they should be more dialed into, like, but sometimes I think, you know, too, there's certain things that you can and can't filter out in an interview, right? Like, it's not always clear in an interview that somebody's going to turn out to be a total dick after they've been in the store for 8 hours, right?
Yeah, well, for my experience, it, you know, it wasn't great like yours, but the whole entire point is that you could just tell they were just being jerks, because he actually put he had some Crash Bandicoot wristbands on, and he was blowing up the beach ball in front of me, and I was asking him if those were being given when you pre-ordered the game, and he just gave me the little, you know, the little button thing, and that's it. And I was like, well, you know, I mean, you're kind of being a douchebag, blowing it up in front of me and putting that shit on in front of me. Don't, to all you gamers out there who work at GameStop, don't fucking do that to people. You can really piss someone off, especially when someone's looking forward to the game and you're like, oh, let me put on these things and let me put on all these. I hate that shit. That really pissed me off. But I asked him politely if I would be getting those when I pick up the game on the 30th. And he was like, "Oh, well, I don't know. You have to come in here when we you know, on the 30th." But there was also an Aku keychain that you could get when you pre-ordered the game at GameStop. It was a GameStop exclusive. And he goes, "Oh, no, sorry. You passed it. It was about 2 days ago. We stopped doing that. But, you know, if you come in here on the 30th, I'll give you mine." And it's kind of like, I'm glad I pre-ordered a game, and I'm going to pick it up on the 30th when, you know, before I go into work. But I'm talking about, some people are just jerks. If you know it means more to that person and you're just going to be a douchebag and let me put on the wristbands, let me blow up the beach balls and put them behind me so you can't touch it, but I can. The moment you get out there, I'm going to fucking pop you one. I cannot stand people who do that kind of garbage to me.
Yeah, no, I understand.
If it was Sonic, I would have gotten my dad. My dad would have been in and be like, "Okay, you're gonna knock that shit off. You're gonna give it to my daughter. Is it free?" Whoa. Huh?
I'm scared to go hang out with you now.
Yeah, my dad would be like, well, is it free or are you selling them? You know, my dad would have made sure, hey, you don't treat my daughter like that. You know, you
Adam Blevins, welcome.
You know, you don't do that. Period. You know, you do not put that stuff in front of people. It's just wrong. And I don't mean just me. I'm talking about anyone in general. You know, if it's something they just pre-ordered and you're showing all the little goodies in front of them, and they're just asking you, "Hey, are those being given when you pre-ordered the game, or do you pick it up?"
I do agree that it's really janky if they have, you know, special item stuff that's just like promotional. That, like, I do agree with you, right? Like, don't show off stuff that's not going to be available to the customer. That'd be like going into Box Lunch or Hot Topic, right? And them like having all these T-shirts and all these keychains that are like, "Oh no, you can't buy these ones," right? Over here's the keychains and the T-shirts that you can actually buy. So I totally understand where you're coming from. I think, you know, having dated somebody who once worked in retail, you know, she was definitely, she was when I learned, like, she told me, she's like, Chris, what's really interesting to keep in mind is like, you need to understand that when you walk into a store, right, and whether it's, you know, GameStop or Walmart or whatever, right, and somebody is smiling to you and they're nice and they're pleasant and they're cheerful with you, it does not mean that they like you. And she didn't just mean like me like intimately. She just meant like they could not like you right. They could not like you at all, right? They could hate all humanity equally, but you know, if they're properly, I guess this goes back to what you're saying, Jeremy, if they're being properly trained and properly, you know, kind of mentored by their manager, the first thing you learn is like, customer doesn't want to see people behind the desk like.
Exactly.
What do you want? Right? They want to see, hey, how's it going? Right? Like, and hey, welcome back. Were you here last Tuesday? You know, that kind of thing. Like, and it makes the person feel like, hey, you know, I'm gonna which store are you gonna go to? The one where they're like, hey, last Tuesday, the Sonic fan, right? Right? Or are you gonna go to the one that was like, yeah, man, whatever, come on the 30th, maybe we'll have it, maybe we won't. I don't know, I just work here. Right? You're gonna go to the one.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're gonna go to the one where they. So if anybody out there that's watching this is in retail, you know, keep that in mind. That I think it really just gets to, if you yourself were walking into the store, how would you want to be treated, right? And then treat the customers that way.
And
I do think too.
Trust me, we don't want to cover your bullshit all day.
Yeah, I work retail.
Yeah, I think the other.
Yeah, that's not my fault.
Yeah, now I think the other thing though too, right? Because it kind of cuts both ways. I mean, certainly they're getting paid, right, to represent the store. So they should remember that they're getting paid to represent the store. That said, I do try to, you know, the Christian in me tries to think like, you know, as long as the person's not like attacking me, slashing my tires, whatever, right? Like, if they're just being indifferent, like the GameStop that I went to this weekend, the guy was just kind of being indifferent. He wasn't being a jerk. He didn't tell me to leave. He didn't tell me I couldn't show him the thing. He was just obviously completely disinterested, and I was not properly reading the room. So, but you know, that's one thing. So I kind of just walk, okay, maybe busy day, doesn't really care, doesn't want to get involved in something, and then have the store fill up with all these people that just want to make their purchase and get out. I could totally get that. Yeah, if somebody's a total jerk, I have a harder time kind of forgiving that. I know I should still forgive that, but it's just a lot more difficult when it looks like you're actively trying to like, wait, your job is to help me. Your job is to be pleasant. Your job is to convince me that I want to spend more time in the store and thereby find more things to spend money on in the store. And because you've been such a dick, I just want to leave. Right.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I do think sometimes, you know, if you work in retail, try to think about the customer. If you are the customer, try to remember these people are there 8 hours a day, right? 5 days a week, sometimes more if it's a holiday, working overtime, etc. So try to be easy on them. Try to be easy on us. We all just want to get a game and go home.
Yeah, in fact, I got the little stuff it gave me. The guy felt bad, and he kind of put this in my face. Like, he gave me this. And I was like, I appreciate the cute little squishy thing. I guess he felt bad. And he was like, oh, this girl's going to kill me. This little thing. But this is what you get if you pre-order the game.
Oh, nice.
But like I said, it also came with a wristband and a little beach ball. Now, the guy said, now, I guess he felt bad because he looked at me like, okay, she's been asking several times, so she's not going to say, she's not going to walk away.
She's not going to leave until you give her a pin.
But he told me, if you come here June 30th, you know, we're probably going to give them away to some of the people, but I'll make sure, I'll do something for you. So he probably was like, ugh, she's serious, because I bought these suckers. These are blueberry scented Sonic air fresheners. I bought the last two.
That is a hardcore Sonic fan when you're buying Sonic air fresheners. I have to say, Lizzie.
Well, you know what makes me mad is when I got the Build-A-Bear thing he made.
Yeah.
They had the sound thingies and everything, right? And they also had scents. They had blueberry scent. Part of me wanted to get a blueberry scent and stick it inside Sonic. And now you find out that their stupid air fresheners already are blueberry scented.
So now you could take a blueberry Sonic air freshener and put it in your blueberry. That did not, with the gesture, did not look good. But anyway,
These are gonna stay in the packaging, so
I'm gonna leave that there.
I will never smell them. They're just gonna stay in their packaging.
Just gonna stay in the packaging forever till they lose their blueberryness.
Yes. Well, I don't know because
so let me ask you this. If they came out with Tails air fresheners, and the folks in the chat, you can play along. If they came out with Tails air fresheners, what would the Tails air freshener smell like?
I think it smells like melon. Good thing is he's more orangey yellow. It'd probably be orange or a melon scent.
Yeah.
Pineapple.
What do you guys in the chat think? What do you think, String Bean or Adam or Robert?
What I think was funny was when I took the picture. That's kind of how I took it. So it kind of looks like Sonic's pissed off that I pre-ordered the game. But I was like, well,
you're cheating on him. Just saying.
Yes. Sonic is just like, must find a toilet.
Well, I didn't see any Crash Bandicoot plushies, and that's, you know, I mean, the only thing I'm getting is a game and going to break someone's arm for the wristband, but that's about it.
Yeah. If Sonic is still looking for a toilet later, I can always get a Jaguar CD add-on for my Jaguar.
There you go.
So
but yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick up the game on the 30th. Looking forward to that. Hopefully, I get my wristband. If I don't, I'm gonna hurt somebody.
Robert says the way you're gesturing about the blueberry thing is that you're trying to shove it up someone's ass. All right, I'm gonna have to take your word for it. So, yeah. That's okay. A lot of people are experts on, you know, what it looks like to shove something up someone's ass. I'm a little bit.
Well, I did play a doctor on TV once, so.
Alrighty. You do. The good news is you do not have a cold.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm also gonna pre-order Bubsy whenever they have an official release, eventually. Because you know I never played them when I was younger, so it's kind of like wow. And now Atari just came out with. Just announced their new console. You're like, okay, you know, Sega, you're the only one left, so you have to be the one that's gonna make a console. If you don't, shame on you because everybody else is.
No, Robert, we're gonna skip that whole. Yeah, we're getting a little too R-rated for the channel there. So, but Bubsy's new game, he says, looks good though.
Oh God.
So
the name scares me, but let's go for it.
Yeah. What was the name of it again? What was the title?
I think it's like Return of the Woolies.
Not you, Jeremy. Not that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Bubsy.
Bubsy, the Return of the Woolies.
Return of the Woolies.
And since I never played the games, I have no idea who the Woolies are.
So they're the bad guys that are trying to steal all the world's yarn or something like that.
So he's a kitty who goes after yarn.
Yes.
So I'm risking my life as Bubsy to save yarn. Where in Sonic, I was saving animals. I don't know what I'm saving in Crash Bandicoot.
Well, you got to think fourth dimensionally, right? So you play Bubsy and you collect enough yarn to make yourself a purse. And then as Sonic, you use said purse to store all the rings. It works out.
Yeah. It does.
All right, folks. The chat is going out of control. So I think we're going to have to shut this puppy down. All right. Adam Blevins, though, before we go. Adam Blevins says, the only problem I run into with GameStop are the people that have zero knowledge of the games. I understand it's a job, but I feel you should have some sort of clue of what you're selling. Yes, I do agree with that to some extent. But on the other hand, I feel like there's so many games out there, especially if you think about it. Like GameStop sells at any given time, right? If you just look at the store, there's literally thousands of games in that store. You got everything from original Wii titles all the way up to, you know, the current gen. I think that's a tall order, especially if you look at the folks who normally, you know, have these jobs, right? The 18 to 30 somethings, right? I mean, generally speaking, in the stores that I've been in, a lot of these games, right, were before some of these guys even started becoming, you know, really that into gaming. So it can be rough when, you know, somebody's like, you know, hey, how's, you know, because they have to be able to answer questions, everything from like, dude, the new Street Fighter game, was it hot or did it suck? But then they also have to be like, so Dora, Return to the Purple Planet, is my daughter gonna like this? Like seriously, like that's the range, right? That we kind of expect them them to have. And you know, maybe they're into Zelda, or maybe they're into puzzles, maybe they're into platformers. You know, I think it's really, really tough. If I worked in GameStop, right, and people were asking me like, dude, the new Madden, like did they fix the glitch with it? I don't know shit about Madden. I'm sorry. Like, I own one game just to say I got it, but that's not my deal, right? So I can kind of appreciate not, you know, not being an expert in everything. I think that's a tall order. Ideally, yeah, they'd be gaming experts, but that would require, you know, training and all this other stuff. And, you know, I think it's doable. It's just, I don't know that the return, right? One thing that is common, I'll go to GameStop, and over the course of the year, by the end of the year, everybody that's employed at the GameStop is different than the people that were employed by the GameStop in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think it's like a temp job type thing for most people. So I don't think it's worth GameStop investing in training for somebody that's maybe only going to be there for 3-4 months between college semesters.
I just kind of wish that they would have more games on display to play. You know, kind of like FuncoLand and all those things back in the past. So that way you had an idea. But like, I remember they used to have like the Wii or the Wii U, and they had Super Smash Brothers, and it was very aggravating when it would just be one, and it would be the same stupid kid hogging it every weekend. You're like, you know, I think your parents need to buy it for you if they're just gonna drop you off here and leave you here all day and all night.
Yeah. Although there was a story that I read that actually hit me pretty hard in the feels. I think you shared it, Jeremy.
Yeah,
do you remember the story?
Yeah.
Tell us the story, my friend.
It's either at Target or Walmart, and this kid would always come. I forget which game it was, what system. He'd always come to play this game, always. And this
it was Mario Kart on the Wii U.
And he always came and played, and this is around Christmas time. So all the boys got together and bought him the Wii U and Mario Kart. When he came back in, they gave it to him, and the kid was like in tears, and it's actually a good story.
Yep. Turns out he was there playing it all the time because he wanted it really bad, but his family was in a bad way, and so they couldn't afford to get one. And so, you know, the only thing that he could do was go in the store and play the store one, and that was as close as he could get to having one. And yeah, it was really. We'll try to dig up the link, and we'll include it down in the doodly-doo, the description of the show. It gets you right in the feels.
Yeah, I know that story. That was a really sweet story. Everybody bought it for him, and you know, that's so sweet. Because you know, I mean, he was just there playing that one game. He wasn't bothering anybody.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I do remember that.
So, folks, we're at time. Before we go, I'm gonna say, listeners, mate, I wish I knew why Sega made their logo sound like a choir in all their games. They did not consult me on that decision, so I don't have any inside info. Maybe if we get Tom Kalinske back on the show, we can ask him. We can ask him what was the origin of that. So if even he knows, maybe he doesn't know either.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned, and we'll see if we can unsolve that mystery. Or wait, solve the mystery. If we unsolve it, then that means we've solved it, and then it's back to being a mystery, right?
That show was creepy, though, as a kid. Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries was really creepy.
Roberts, his last name.
Yes. But I think when I start making misstatements like that, it's a clear indicator that the show is done. So, folks, we appreciate you tuning in. We hope that everybody that was hounding me get an Atari Jaguar, right? So this isn't the only show that's going to be out there. Expect to see coming up throughout the remainder of the year. Expect to see some Jaguar-themed pickups. Expect to see maybe a couple playthroughs. Myself, maybe me and the boy playing some of these Jaguar games and giving our first impressions on it. So stay tuned. So you asked for it, we delivered it. Still working on the Neo Geo thing, though. I have no idea how the hell to afford that. Those prices are just insane.
It's out there somewhere for you.
Yeah, if folks want to send me Neo Geo stuff, get in touch. Right, I'll let you guest on the show for every Neo Geo game you can get me free of charge. So, alrighty, folks, we'll catch you next Tuesday.
Good night.